Live, everybody. Wow. Welcome to the show. Hit the subscribe button if you're new. Hit the like button if you've been here before. Thank you for coming. Today, this is just another revelation to why it is difficult to have romantic partners and different, especially if you're a criminal of some organization or if you want structure, you just don't want to have this type of things going on, right? Especially when you're a criminal on the run, right? You can't slip up like this. But once again, these 304s ain't loyal. He been on the run for over 15 years, doing a good job. But the lady led him to capture. She wanted that 15 million. Right? She thought about, okay, this could secure my own bag. Temptation was too egregious. And that led to the ultimate capture of Mencho. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. So we're going to get into it. We got a little video we're going to play.
Never photographed, always rumored to be dead until Sunday. Every intelligence agency on Earth had failed to pin him down. What cracked the case was simpler: a woman's visit to a mountain hideout. On February 20th, Mexican military intelligence, working with US Northern Command, received a concrete tip. A trusted associate of one of El Mencho's romantic partners could lead them to him. The location, Tapalpa, a picturesque colonial town 130 kilometers from Guadalajara, and a vacation compound called Cabanas La Loma, previously sanctioned by the US Treasury.
Can't trust these hoes, man. Can't trust them. Men we put too much investment in these women. You got a woman coming in and out. Come on, man. Do you not know she's the weak link? This is why you don't see militaries or great organizations led by women, because they are the weaker. They're liabilities, right? They're liabilities because of she's going to love herself and put herself first every time, right? And they got her up, pulled up on her. They tell you, what's up, what's good? Tell us what we need to know. She's like, okay, sure, I'll take you right to him. And boom, she led him right. They probably put trackers on her, and followed her. And then when she went there, they just went in behind her and took him out. Right, Delilah. These women can't have, especially when you're a criminal organization. You can't have no women like that. You just can't do it. You can't take them risk. Betrayal is of high level. These women, they're not going to go down. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do what you think they're going to do. They're not going to do what you think they're going to do because you think, oh, I love you, she loves you. Women are the weak link when it comes to, self-preservation. She's not going to take one for the team. When have you ever known?
Moving constantly, never photographed.
When have you ever known a woman to take one for the team in history? When large organizations, when you can talk about stuff like that, you just don't do it, right? That's why you don't keep women in your circle, especially when you're doing crime, right? You just don't do it, right? You can't tell women things. You can't tell them everything because, if compromised, they give you up.
always rumored to be dead until Sunday. Every intelligence agency on Earth had failed to pin him down. What cracked the case was simpler: a woman's visit to a mountain hideout. On February 20th, Mexican military intelligence, working with U.S.
So let's be clear, right? So how they do it is they bring her in and they say, hey, we need you to help us to take down your boyfriend, right? We're going to put these tracking devices on you. We're going to you're going to wear these things on you so that we can track you, right? They just didn't follow her like literally. The U.S. and the Mexico put the wire on her, and she led them right to, in there. Then once she got in there, her location was given off her tracking device, and they came in and swooped, right? So, she didn't want to take one for her team. She going to put herself first. And this is how these women are built. So, I mean, it's nothing. She did what she was supposed to do, right? She did what women do. This is what they do. They're not taking one for a team, man. They should have given all her lives and freedom for you. I don't think so.
Northern Command received a concrete tip. A trusted associate of one of El Mencho's romantic partners could lead them to him. The location, Tapalpa, a picturesque colonial town.
So they said that one of his romantic partners will lead them to his location. So basically what she did is she saw that $15 million reward and took advantage.
130 kilometers from Guadalajara, and a vacation compound called Cabanas La Loma, previously sanctioned by the US Treasury for supporting the CJNG. The lover visited El Mencho on Saturday. Then she left, he stayed, and planning began within the hour.
So once she left, first when she got there, the location had them surround. And then once she walked out of the place, they then moved in for the capture, right? To make sure she was out because she was part of the operation. Cold-blooded here, man.
On February 20th, Intel confirmed El Mencho's location. US Northern Command provided surveillance support. A 24-hour clock started ticking. On February 21st, the romantic partner met with Oseguera at Cabanas La Loma, confirming his presence. She left, but he stayed with his security detail. The trap was set. On February...
So they basically used her to set the trap. She betrayed him. She betrayed him because she had the tracking devices on her. Instead of her saying, no, I ain't going to do this. Y'all just going to have to do what y'all got to do. I'll go to jail for how many times? She said, okay. Do I get that $15 million? Said if he's captured or killed, he's $15 million dead or alive. Dead or alive. So she was the bait.
22nd, the National Guard's Special Reaction Force closed a perimeter. Troops staged outside Jalisco to keep the element of surprise. Then they closed in. El Mencho's men opened fire with assault weapons and rocket launchers. 8 cartel members died. 2 soldiers were wounded. El Mencho and 2 bodyguards fled into dense woods. Special forces split up to chase them. They found him hiding in the undergrowth, critically wounded, but alive. El Mencho and his 2 bodyguards reportedly died en route to the hospital. Later, S-fighter jet carried the bodies to Mexico City. CJNG, the powerful cartel that El Mencho led, responded immediately. Hundreds of flaming roadblocks went up across multiple states. Grocery stores were attacked. Open gunfights erupted with the military. Schools were shut. Airlines halted flights. The US Embassy told Americans to take shelter. At least 27 members of the Mexican National Guard were killed in 6 separate attacks in a single day. The country held its breath.
It's not possible to get out right now because first, we're not allowed to leave the resort under any circumstance. So we're locked down in the resort. And even if we went out on the streets, the cartel would stop us and force us to get out of the car and light the car on fire. So the whole city is under lockdown. No one is going out because everyone is scared of getting stopped by the cartel. I can't even go home even if I wanted to because New York is in a snowstorm, blizzard. I hope that it ends soon.
President Claudia Sheinbaum, who had authorized the operation partly to satisfy the Trump administration, went before cameras and called for calm. Analysts warn the power vacuum El Mencho leaves behind could trigger a brutal succession war. His son is imprisoned in the US, his wife arrested on money laundering charges, 2 brothers jailed in Mexico. The line of succession, as one expert put it, has been broken. Meanwhile, the rival Sinaloa cartel, already fragmented since El Chapo's extradition, may see opportunity. 4 CJNG commanders are believed to be vying for control. A negotiated transition is possible, so is all-out war between factions. Mexico has felled its most feared cartel king. The achievement is historic, comparable in significance to Colombia's killing of Pablo Escobar in 1993, or the capture of El Chapo Guzman. But history also shows what follows such moments: chaos, fragmentation, and often the emergence of something worse than what came before. The CJNG built its empire on speed, brutality, and adaptability. Its lieutenants are trained in that image. Whether they consolidate under new leadership, splinter into warring factions, or trigger a broader conflict with the Sinaloa cartel will shape the trajectory of drug trafficking and the fentanyl crisis in the United States for years to come. El Mencho is dead in a Tapalpa forest. The cartel he built is still breathing. And Mexico, with the World Cup 6 months away, is watching the mountains of Jalisco for what comes next.
And this is a dangerous life you live. You can't be having no female coming in and out of your life, man. You can't. She's a weak vet. She's a weak link, right? She's a weak link. You gotta, and this is the mistake men make all the time. They get into these romantic relationships and they think, they don't think that their a romantic partner can be attacked or approached, and it's actually the opposite. So, it is a sad day for these guys, the cartels, because, a woman set them up. A woman set them up. The woman set them up. And now they got to, they're a little upset, of course. They set them up, and so it's going to be some wars for a while. It's most likely going to be a power struggle now because they got to figure out who's going to be the new leader. They're going to have, some of them want their leader, others going to figure they want this leader, right? So it's definitely going to be an anarchy. So it's going to be in-house, and then because they got to find leadership quickly because other cartels, if they think that you're weak, they're going to come for you. Yeah, this is a pretty dangerous time for Mexico right now because he's got a lot of people worshipped El Mencho. That was their hero or whatever they liked him. And now, they want retribution. So we're going to read the document just to confirm that this was just definitely, she set him up. So as here, as you read here, if y'all can, let me get all this out the way. See if I can get this to. Hold on. There we go. Says both Mexico and the United States have spent years tracking El Mencho, who faced numerous outstanding arrest warrants for organized crime and drug trafficking in both countries. This time, however, the intelligence efforts proved successful. Chavilla noted that military investigators identified and began following a trusted associate of one of Esquerra Cervantes, which is El Mencho, romantic partners, which is his girl, right? This individual escorted the woman to Pablo, so an officer escorted her. And then Jalisco, and on Friday for the meeting with the drug lord, so she was wearing wire, right? She was wearing a wire, right? Because that's how they knew that they were having a meeting. She was wired, and they tracked her, and then they were just waiting. And then after she left, so then she said individual escorted the woman to these places for a meeting with the drug lord. The military official explained that exact location was confirmed by very important additional information provided by U.S. intelligence. So America infiltrated this woman, right? She then wore a wire. They put a wire on her and a tracking device, and walked in there, and they did what they did, right? They took him down, right? They took him down. They took him down because they want, they wanted him out. America wanted him out of power for some reason, just like they did in Venezuela, just like they did to El Chapo. Whatever personal thing that America and El Machino, I don't know if he bought a deal or didn't give them their money or whatever it is, they went after him and they got him, right? They manipulated the attack. They used their surveillance. They got the woman, they infiltrated the woman, put a wire on her. Then they contacted the Mexican authorities and the military, and they executed and took him out. So this is like since Trump's been in office, Trump's been really just going after South America, right? Mexico, Venezuela, etc. So whatever it is that a problem America would have with over them people, I don't know. I can tell you, but whatever it is, it comes to violent altercation where America is moving in and taking people out of power, whether it be cartel or presidents, right? America is flexing their military to get what they need to get done. And this is this is nothing new. America's always been meddling down there, whatever they got going with these people down there. But that's just how he's just a product of, once America put that bounty on your head, it's pretty much, they're coming to get you. They're coming to get you. It's just a matter of when. And then especially with Trump in office, right?
Alleged threats from the cartel, apparently calling for direct attacks on Border Patrol agents.
I think we're just going to kill people that are bringing drugs into our country.
Come any closer! I can't see anything!
Mexico woke up on the 22nd of February 2026 to a headline that sounded like the end of an era. According to public reporting from Reuters and the Associated Press, Mexican forces located Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, known as El Mencho, near Tapalpa in the state of Jalisco, and an attempt to capture him turned into a firefight. Officials said he was wounded while trying to flee and later died during transport. His name carried a $15 million United States reward, and authorities have long blamed his organization, the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, for moving large quantities of fentanyl and other drugs toward the United States. But here's what makes this bigger than one man, because the real message was not only delivered in the hills, it was delivered on the highways. According to Reuters, the hours after the operation brought a coordinated wave of retaliation that included 85 roadblocks, vehicles set on fire, and disruptions that spread fast enough to strain local control. Reuters also reported at least 62 deaths in the backlash, including 25 members of the National Guard and dozens of suspected cartel gunmen. And as the smoke rose from burned vehicles, the country's...
So, this is just a lashing out. The people are lashing out right now in Mexico. They they feel a way about this. I don't think that destroying their own people or attacking tourist destinations, because the tourists had nothing to do with this. The people of Mexico the regular citizens had no part in this, right? Your problem is with America, right? That's what your problem is with. You going around shooting up. This is like the LA riots, right? This is like the LA riots, right? When the Rodney King thing happened, the black people went out there destroying businesses. What's that going to do? That doesn't do nothing. That doesn't make the government say, ooh, or that doesn't solve the problem. And the Mexico, the cartel, I'm a little shocked at their, I would say, hostile or hostility towards the public, whether it be, citizens of America or citizens of Mexico. You're attacking civilians who have nothing to do with the capture and the shooting and killing of El Mencho. This is to me, right? This is to me just people who got guns and want to use them. They're mad, and now you want to just go shoot up people's homes and shoot your own people and shoot American tourists who, once again, absolutely had nothing to do with this corroborated attack from America and the Mexican government. And this is, and this is why I guess the people of Mexico don't want to go back to Mexico, right? Because the cartel are bullies, right? The cartels are bullies. They walk around bullying people, right? You just want to run in and shoot up people. Go, if you want to smoke, if you really, for real, get your convoy together and cross that border. America ain't ducking no wreck. Or the Mexican military, pull up. They're not going to back down. But you shooting up your town and shooting people around by civilians. This is not the way you handle something like this, because that's not going to stop. That's not going to stop the military government or America for coming after you. So I would think that the cartel will learn to be more strategical. They need to become smarter, because guns ain't going to solve this problem for them. Shooting civilians ain't going to solve the problem for them. Shooting tourists, American tourists, they're not going to solve the problem for them. It's not. It's not. If America got a problem with you, that's who you need to settle it with. You need to settle your score with the one who has the problem with you.
Saw a hard truth that governments never want to admit out loud. You can reach a leader in the terrain, but a cartel can still reach the daily life of a nation. Now we go to the case anchor. Names, timestamps, and the sequence that turns surveillance into contact. Mexican officials said the chain began on Friday, February 20. According to public reporting, investigators tracked a trusted associate connected to a romantic partner. Officials said that thread pulled them toward Tapalpa, a wooded area that functions like a natural shield. Tapalpa is not a border city. It is not a port. It is elevation, trees, narrow roads, and limited lines of sight. If a leader chooses terrain like this, it is because he believes the land can slow the state. By early Sunday, officials said the operation tightened. According to the Associated Press, there was a ground cordon and air assets in the mix, including a detail that matters for anyone watching the tactical shape of this: 6 helicopters.
And Mexican drug cartels are targeting Border Patrol agents with kamikaze drones and other explosives amid the border crackdown. An internal memo circulated by the drug cartel.
Past administrations have tried to mitigate this threat, and our objective is to eliminate it. We're not mitigating, we're eliminating, we're getting them out.
That is not a decorative detail. That is a sign of urgency, mobility, and a plan to cut off escape routes before first light can change the geometry of concealment.
Shots were fired from the suspect, and the agent returned fire.
Shooting up at the helicopter and the exchanging gunfire with the agent on the ground.
It was an individual who early this morning was being pursued by a Border Patrol agent. They had believed that this individual was involved in human trafficking from an earlier incident.
Then the confrontation. Officials described it as intense, and public reporting emphasized the kind of firepower that makes a raid feel like a battle. According to the Associated Press and Reuters, authorities later said heavy weapons were present, including rocket launchers, and the clash pushed the suspect and his guards into cover. One of the most vivid phrases in the Associated Press reporting is also one of the simplest: located him hiding in the undergrowth. That line matters because it tells you the final phase was not a clean arrest in a doorway. It was a search, under pressure, in terrain where visibility is measured in feet, not blocks. In the minutes after contact, officials said the suspect attempted to flee. Public reporting described him moving with 2 bodyguards, and authorities said he was hit in the exchange. This is where the timeline becomes both operational and political. Because when a country tries to capture a figure like this, the outcome is not only justice, it is risk management. According to the Associated Press, officials said the suspect and 2 bodyguards were already in critical condition. Then came the phrase that made the story explode beyond Mexico: died en route. A few words, a complete change in the national map. To understand why those words triggered a second wave of events, you have to understand how a cartel reads a moment like this.
In the District of Arizona with 3 charges: assault on a federal officer, alien smuggling, and felon in possession of a firearm.
The suspect was hit and is currently in one of our local hospitals here being treated for his injuries. His condition, I believe, is listed as serious but stable.
A cartel is not a person, it is a system. It is routes, payroll, weapon sourcing, and fear management.
But what the cartel has to do is they have to understand that they can't go around attacking citizens. They're wars with the military, period. Thank you for coming to the show. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you for coming to the show. Feel free to comment. Ruthless like to hear you get into, if you have any things you'd like to share with your opinions, let it rip. But the cartel needs to learn